And alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the Self-Developed YouTube channel. You beautiful people, comment below, hashtag Self-Developed Army, and let's get this video going. So guys, in this one, and excuse the lighting, it's going to change quite a bit. There are a bunch of clouds in the sky. You know my OCD is kind of a little funny with that, but nonetheless, let's run it. I believe I titled this one, Your Greatest Power as a Man. Now I know, trust me, I've titled this, or used this title realistically probably about 30 times, but that is because I truly believe as a man you have multiple powers. I think at different scenarios each one will be required, similar to like the X-Men. That's what's coming to mind. Maybe if you're in a forest, Wolverine isn't the best, most optimal thing. Maybe you need laser beams. Maybe you do need something close contact. Maybe it is something like levitation. Okay, at different times you have these different tools and you should and will use them accordingly. So guys, your greatest power as a man in this context, this is presence, okay? Now, I don't mean presence as in like Santa Claus. No, not this time, even though that's pretty dope. Presence, right? Being there. Now, this is something I've struggled with for a long time in my life, and I truly believe this is because you're not really ever taught this. It's funny, right? It's like a catch-22. As a child, you are the epitome of this. This is what you live and breathe because you know nothing else. But as you get older, this is, it disappears. And it doesn't come back. It's not something, like I said, you're taught. And if you do not bring it back or come back to it, it will leave you forever. You can live your entire life in the future and the past, and you'll suffer because of it. So, why is presence a power? Well, because that's actually where your masculinity is as a man. That's where your resourcefulness is. That's where every single answer in that decisive moment comes. I mean, you think of X-Men, it's a perfect example. Let's just say, or you think of like Ben 10, I don't know why that's coming to mind. The guy has a watch. I never really watched the show, but I can understand. He has a watch, and he can choose, let's say, any monster at that particular time, based on the current circumstance. Presence is what allows you to make that decision very fast. Now, if you're in the future and the past, you will make a very half-assed decision. Why? Because that is not here. That's not now. That's tainted. You see, guys, our mind, our neocortex, it's caused and created so many beautiful, brilliant things by allowing us to barter, think in the future and the past, but it taints the reality. It can help, but many times in our Western society, it is doing the opposite. It is a disservice. It's tainting it a different color. It's kind of like putting on goggles, right? You see the world in a different way. Maybe it can be resourceful, but a lot of times for us, it's not anymore. So what presence does is it removes any goggle and it allows you to see as objectively as you can. And that is what we want as a man. We want to be able to think and act and do as objectively as we can. This is what I and many people struggle with. I mean, how do you not struggle with this, especially with what's going on in the world? We are all wearing goggles. I'm wearing goggles, dude. They're like subconscious fear-based goggles that are being shoved on our heads. And it's no one's fault. I'm not going to blame anyone or point any fingers, but it's real. You will not make the best decisions for you if you are thinking in the past, in the future. To be present, one of my favorite quotes is, presence is power. I'll give you an example right now, and this may sound a little silly, but there were some people just outside the building, and I'm sure they were great people, and they were being pretty loud, right? This is not neighbors, but just people outside, and they were doing so for the past 10 minutes or so while I was setting up. Presence, all it was. Do you want to know how beautiful presence is? All I did was I just breathed, walked outside, and I just stood there, right? I just stood there. That's it. Pretending to wait for the elevator, right in the middle of all of them. And you know what they all did? Hey, how you doing? Smiled, quiet, went away, never heard again, right? And that's not because I'm some super special hero or snowflake. That's because that's what presence does. A lot of times, guys, by being present, the answer is there. It's right in front of you. Do you understand? It's such a beautiful thing. Presence, especially as a man, is what's going to send these embodiment ripples out to the universe, really establishing who you are. It's an unspoken language. Right? I mean, how many times, think of a father, think of a king. This is why this is targeted towards men. This is something I need to learn more of. And as I get older, this is what is strengthening. A father is a father. He's a king. He is a man, not because so much of what he does, not so much because of what he says, but because of who he is. That is only achieved through presence. He is there. Right? So guys, that is it. I would argue that your best answers in life in what to do in any situation, maybe this is talking to the girl, talking to your boss, talking to people outside, your best resourcefulness will come through presence. And a lot of times, guys, presence is such, like I said, an unspoken language that I feel many times you won't even have to do anything at all. Just by you being there, that will send the message. They say silence is sometimes the greatest message, right? But that silence is embedded with presence, right? Where you can have something on the contrary. I'll just finish it off with a quick example. And I've made this mistake many times. How many times have you guys? Where maybe you approach a specific person, or I don't know, you're talking to this new girl or asking your boss for a raise or whatever it is. And because the presence isn't necessarily there, we're too in our head thinking about what the next best thing is to do or say. We're very ungrounded. And because we're ungrounded, that embodiment is in and of itself the message. Before you said anything, that individual, that boss, that girl can read you like that. Because you were lacking presence. It does not matter what you say. It doesn't even matter what you do. Who are you? That is always, always, always number one. And only as of late have I truly began to realize that. To be honest, guys, like, really let that sink in. It doesn't even fucking matter what you say or what you do. Who are you when doing it? Who are you? If you can just show up to that interview, to that place, whatever it may be, with presence, I guarantee you will have the best possible answer. What will happen will fucking shock you. I promise. So guys, that is it. The sun is beginning to dip. Let's all strengthen this presence, okay? And this comes through just breathing. It's really that simple. I mean, I think no one makes videos like this because we're all looking for the next tip or tactic and tool to one-up whatever it may be, but that will all just be a natural extension of presence itself. So stop focusing so much on the external. Just come back to breathing where you are right now. I know this is such a paradoxical idea. This is why no one does it. This is why I didn't do it. No one's taught this. This is like what I said at the beginning of the video. You're not taught this. And that's what it means to be a man. This is what I'm trying to embody and what I'm trying to learn with you guys. The answer will come, but can you first be all there? Okay? Again, easier said than done, and I'm practicing this just as you guys are. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. I will finish it here on the final plugs. If you guys would like to work with me on a personal level, there is always one-on-one coaching. We have group coaching, which is the workshop. You can check the one coming up of September, guys, in less than 2 weeks' time. The workshop is 4 one-hour calls with a private Facebook group with myself and a small group of men. We go over everything on improving your fitness, nutrition, intermittent fasting, no-fap, increasing your masculinity to improve your relationships, finding your passion, and turning it into a business online, as well as the self-development course, guys, a 3-hour plus long passive learning system. You guys have been loving it, and so much so you can download the free half-an-hour version to get a teaser. And that's that for the plugs, guys. If interested, you can pick up Edge, coupon code Hammond. This is their black cutoff tank. Let's go, baby. I'm about to go for a walk after this, and that's your final homework. To practice presence in its most basic form, go for a walk and try your best to just fully be there. Focus on your breathing, focus on how you're feeling, where you're at, nothing else. And watch your mind just go astray. Just focus on presence. And if you can begin to bring that, right, that exercise of walking back into your day-to-day life, your life will improve dramatically. I promise. This is not an easy thing. Presence is one of the hardest things we as men in particular can do. It's not easy, okay? It's a fucking power for a reason. That's where the power is, okay? Thank you guys. Have an amazing day. I'll check you in the next video. With that, much love. Peace.